At the end of our last episode, the investigation into the Silk Road was stuck in a digital holding pattern. The blockchain analysis provided clues, but no identity. Then, the real world suddenly intervened. During a routine inspection at the US border, Customs and Border Protection agents intercepted a seemingly ordinary package. Inside, they found a stack of high-quality, forged driver's licenses. But these weren't just any fakes. They all featured different names, different addresses, but the exact same photograph. A photograph of a young, clean-cut, unassuming man. The package was destined for a residential address in San Francisco. Homeland Security investigations immediately flagged the package. Agents were dispatched to the San Francisco address to conduct a standard knock and talk. When the door opened, they were greeted by the man in the photographs. His name was Ross Ulbricht. He was polite, articulate, and completely unthreatening. He claimed he had no idea why anyone would send him fake IDs. The agents asked him a few questions, noted his calm demeanor, and eventually left. At that specific moment, they had no idea that they had just spoken to the most wanted man on the internet. But Ross Ulbricht's name was now in the system. The task force running the Silk Road case was a massive, multi-agency operation, and information sharing was often difficult. But once Ross's name hit the federal databases, an intense, targeted background investigation began. Investigators started pulling his digital life apart piece by piece. They looked at his education. He had degrees in physics and material science. They looked at his political affiliations. He was a vocal advocate for radical libertarianism and free markets. They analyzed his social media footprint, his housing history, his employment records. Everything they found perfectly matched the psychological profile they had built of the Dread Pirate Roberts. But a matching profile isn't evidence. It's a hypothesis. The OSINT team dug deeper. They discovered that Ross was living in San Francisco, sharing a house with roommates who had no idea what he did for a living. He spent all day on his laptop in cafes, managing a supposed startup. The circumstantial evidence was piling up into a mountain. However, to secure a conviction, the prosecution would need an unbreakable chain of evidence linking Ross Ulbricht, the man in San Francisco, to the Dread Pirate Roberts, the kingpin of the dark web. The investigators had their prime suspect, but they were missing the smoking gun. They needed a direct, undeniable digital link. It was time to go back to the very beginning, back to the obscure corners of the early internet. An IRS agent named Gary Alford was quietly working on his own angle, running advanced search queries that everyone else had overlooked. He was about to find a singular piece of data that Ross Ulbricht had forgotten to erase. A tiny mistake made years ago was about to resurface. The walls were closing in fast. Subscribe and watch Part 4 to witness the exact search that broke the Silk Road.